This is the second annual conference of the Harlem Tenants Council. We are here at Bread and Roses High School. That's at Edgecombe Avenue and 135th Street. We're in the auditorium. Our theme this year is one of concern that should be for all of us, and that is the mobilization of people here in Harlem to stop the displacement and gentrification that is occurring. And this is no light matter, because Harlem really is on the chopping block, and it has been for a long time, really since 1985, going back to Mayor Koch when he introduced his plan, the redevelopment of Central Harlem. And we have seen that plan unfold and accelerate over the past 2 or more decades, and that's what we're dealing with now. And let me just be very honest. Part of what we're trying to deal with at this forum is here in Central Harlem, which is a hard nut to crack, because the politicians for years have so ingrained themselves into the beating down and wearing down of the people that they're just, I don't think they know what to do. So our theme this year is one of mass mobilization. How do you begin to build a base? How do you begin to build a base right here in Harlem? How do we begin to come together? How do we begin to realize that unless we have this collective strength, unless we come together, that the politicians will continue to ignore us? They don't care about what we think. They don't care about what we do, because they will say, well, you're just insignificant because you're not out here in the numbers. You have no base. You have no power. So we can just ignore you. So if we don't change this very major paradigm shift, if we don't have a paradigm shift, then it's going to be all over. And one of the things that we're really concerned about is what's happening on 125th Street. And this is over the last year and a half in terms of the process. Columbia University is in West Harlem, 18 acres. They're going to burrow down in underneath the street, 8 stories. Can you imagine 8 stories beneath the street? Well, that's what Columbia University is going to do. They're going to take the sidewalks. They're going to take the underground land. They're going to take some streets. And what they're going to build are a series of bio-research laboratories operating at level 3 with all kinds of dangerous pathogens. Ebola, SARS, bubonic plague, you name it. That's what they experiment with. And they get these pathogens transported through a densely populated neighborhood. None of this in the environmental impact statement, no concern whatsoever. Then we go to Central Harlem. We've got a 24-block radius that's going to bring in 3,845 units of housing. 3,845 units of housing, mostly luxury, of which only 200 of those units will be for low-income or income-targeted residents of Harlem. If you've got nearly 4,000 units of mostly luxury housing coming into Harlem, what are you telling Harlem? Of course people are going to be displaced. And they're talking about building out of these projects over a 10, 15, 20-year period, because that's how they think. We think only maybe about today, tomorrow, next week, but Columbia University's plan is 20 years and $7 billion. 20 years, $7 billion. So that's how they're looking at things. And if we don't come together and we don't begin to realize what is happening here, then it's gone. It's gone.